Hello, everyone. We are Easy Allies. I am Michael Huber, joined by Daniel Bloodworth. And I had the privilege of playing a good, solid 2 hours of Black Myth Wukong.
Yeah.
Hands on.
Yeah, it was one of the reasons this is coming late is because Summer Game Fest.
Yeah.
2-hour appointments is crazy.
Yeah.
So they had to do more appointments after the fact for those of us that are still here in town.
Yes.
But yeah, so like we've seen this game for a long time.
Yeah.
We've known it looks very pretty.
Exactly.
But how the play?
The most important question, Bloodworth, it plays very good.
Nice.
Yes.
Does it still look pretty now?
It still looks very pretty.
Okay.
Yes. So I was, I never wrote Black Myth Wukong off. I was super excited about it, but I'm like, I hope it's more than just the visuals. I hope it plays well, and it absolutely does. I've been comparing, and a lot of people have been comparing a lot of things to Stellar Blade recently, just because it's a newer,
fresh.
It's
Yeah.
fresh. It came out this year. It's just a couple months old, so like it has that type of vibe where it's, Souls light, but this felt pretty linear. So
Okay.
the environments were pretty small.
Okay.
I was not finding any shortcuts to unlock things, but it did have some of those Souls elements where it's like, if you die, you lose some of your, XP to the next level or whatever. And, there are shrines where you can rest and recover your Estus flask, and it respawns enemies. So it definitely has that a little bit of that Souls flair there. But first up, one of the things is I am immediately obsessed with some of these characters, Bloodworth.
Oh.
These characters are great. They've got personality. They look cool. They sound... everything is so fun. So basically, I hopped in, and I'm the monkey man. And you have this little old guide character. And he's just, guiding you through, trying to, lead you through this big shrine foresty area, and he just had so much personality. Every character I encountered, whether they were a boss or an NPC helping along the way, it was just, I think I said it 5 times when I was playing this demo. I was like, these characters are great.
Nice.
So really cool characters. The environments were very pretty, but I will say, for my 2 hours, they did start to kind of blend in with each other. They all looked exactly the same, kind of just lots of forests and shrines, constantly. Some areas would have a little waterfall or creek area, but for 2 straight hours, it was very similar aesthetic.
Got it.
So I hope that changes over time, of course. But that was just something I noticed by the end. I was kind of like, it's kind of the same environment here. It's always fun in a Souls-light or an action game. It's progressing to different, environments. So the environments were a little samey, but they were still gorgeous. It was still, this game has a certain pleasantness to it, Bloodworth. It's a hardcore, action game, pretty challenging, especially some of the bosses there, but there was just something really soothing about it where, I was... we throw the word cozy around all the time, but it really was comforting just being in this game. I just, really liked that element.
What are the regular standard grunt enemies and stuff?
Yeah.
What are you fighting when you're going through?
Lots of animals, Blood.
Okay.
So crow-looking characters and wolf characters, they'll call you little monkey man or whatever. So a lot of animal enemies. And they have, swords or sword and shield. The archers are crazy. They're shooting non-stop, fire arrows at you, boom, 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 boom. I was like, whoa, dude, range filth to the extreme here. You can do the, you can hold the LT and it will spin your staff around to kind of block some of those.
Arrows?
Yeah.
Nice.
And then dodging is the primary mechanic here. Not parrying, not even blocking, dodging.
Okay.
Now attacking and dodging both use stamina.
Right.
And that is huge. Stamina management is the name of this game. Because it's defense and offense. So you really need to watch out for that, which I really loved throughout, even trash mobs. Combat is pretty much combo based. So you got your light attack, you have your staff, and you have your light combos. You know, it's like I'm spamming this thing really a lot, like mashing it out. You know, I'm maybe a little less technical here. The technicality, I think, comes with a lot of the dodging and when to use your specials. I'll get into that in a sec. But primary attacks are light attacks, and then you build a focus point. So when you do damage with your light attacks, you're building a little meter on the bottom, and when that fills up, you'll get a little focus point, and then you can use that for like a heavy attack.
Oh, okay,
and
got
that'll
it.
use that charge.
Yeah.
You can also just straight up charge up a focus point heavy attack, and that'll do one of those. So yeah, just a lot of dodging and quick, like bop, 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 bop attacks. And it just felt really good. That's the most important thing here, is that it felt really good to hit, to dodge. All that stuff is on point for sure. No complaints there.
What about like, because like you definitely come across some characters, but do you come across any kind of like villages or towns or anything like that to explore, or do you see anything like
everything was like ruined and abandoned.
Okay.
Kind of that energy. There were some characters that I did encounter. Like one character kind of has a little shop set up, like a little table shop, and you can talk to him and, you know, exchange your currency. Crafting seemed pretty chill. I crafted an entire armor set that gave me bonuses depending on how many pieces I had of this armor.
Okay,
I also
good.
saw another armor set that gave different bonuses. So there's some of that, you know, flexibility there. You can upgrade your weapon, your Estus flask. It's the gourd, but I'll call them all Estus flasks forever. You have your flasks, so you can upgrade that stuff. A lot of, not too many crafting materials, but there's kind of crafting materials kind of scattered around each area. Semi-small areas. Just want to get that point across again. Pretty linear, pretty small. Not too many ways to explore, but still enough areas where you could, oh, let me see what's in this corner over there. Or,
Right.
you know, oh, there's like 2 or 3 ways to go here. Let me kind of peek around. Maybe go down that one a little bit, come back. But they end up kind of like looping around and connecting to each other. A lot of bosses, I won't go into them too heavily because there's some like weird embargo restrictions and stuff. But there was a good amount of bosses in this 2-hour demo. I was kind of shocked by how many. Where it was like, clear a space, you know, you progress through a space, fight a boss. Progress through another small space, boss. I mean, I fought like, honestly, but it felt like 5 or so bosses in 2 hours. I mean,
that's pretty crazy.
It was a lot of bosses, and they were fun, though. That's the most important thing. They were fun. A couple multi-phased things going on. A lot of dodging. They were challenging. I beat a couple on the first try, but there were a couple that took me numerous tries.
Yeah.
Obviously,
you stayed behind.
I stayed
long.
extra because I was like, I need to beat this last boss. Because I was in a room when I was playing this with just the devs and the PR, and they were all just staring at my monitor. Everyone was just watching me.
Right.
Watching me fail, watching me succeed. When I beat the last boss of the demo, everyone clapped. It was actually pretty epic because I literally told them, I was like, this actually has to be the last one because I have to get to work. I died on this last boss like 6-7 times, and it's like, okay, this is like the last try, and then I beat on the last one. I was like, yeah, cool. But yeah, quite a bit of bosses for sure. I wish Damiani were here because he would appreciate the cheats factor of some of these bosses. Because some of these arenas, I was getting these bosses into corners and just wailing on them, just mashing them out. Like, I got a boss against a rock, and I just kept bah, 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 and he was kind of against the rock, and I was like, I'm not giving you a second to breathe. But then, of course, I ran out of stamina, so I had to fall back a little bit, but still, that really helped. Okay, in addition to your staff, I got to use a couple special moves. One of the special moves was Immobilize. Incredibly OP. This is the bread and the butter of the entire game here. Get ready. You just use a little bit of mana. So it'll use mana, and it'll also go on a cooldown when you use these moves. So mana and cooldown both. Freeze an enemy. Just bam, you're frozen. Let me mash on him. There was another one that let me have like a transformation type thing, where it was like, okay, I transform and I have an entirely separate health bar, but then your stamina is constantly draining, and then when that runs out, it's like, okay, transform back, so you can't really abuse it. And the cooldown for that was pretty stiff. But yeah, there's the special moves as well, which I really like. It really helped combat. Really important for those boss fights as well. You earn some currency. There's like a currency you earn that you can use to buy things in shops, like items where, do more, pop a thing, you do more damage, pop a thing, you're more resistant to fire or poison. Just basic stuff like that. You also needed it to craft. I was saying about crafting, armor sets earlier. Mm-hmm. That stuff costs resources and money as well, so you needed to be mindful of that. And then there's a skill tree. You level up, and you get skill points, and then you can put those into a variety of trees. Some of them were, you use less stamina when you're sprinting, or straight up abilities. One of them was like, when you sprint, or just after you sprint, you do more damage. Oh, so that was like changing my fighting style. I was like, okay, be aggressive now.
Yeah,
run in. Yeah. So there's like a couple skill trees. Didn't get to fully explore a lot of those because I was like trying to get through this demo. So I was really trying to min-max my stuff and just be as efficient as possible because I wanted to get through it. I was like, okay, I'm just going to focus on the basics, stamina, damage, health, like that stuff. So, but there were other trees that had completely different moves. So, but I didn't get to explore with that. There was even some trees that were locked off behind level gating. So it's like, oh, you got to level up to get some of those trees as well. Trying to think if there's anything else that I didn't cover. But yeah, it just felt really good to attack and dodge and explore. Again, the atmosphere is so cozy. I hope there's a little more variety later on. The bosses were really wonderful. Just the personality of everyone and everything. I was really hyped about this game, but like I said at the start, I was like, oh, is it just all looks? I want to know how this thing really plays. Now I'm safely in the hyped zone. Like, I cannot wait for this game. It definitely met/raised my expectations a little bit, where it's like, oh man, nice. Even if this isn't like the GOATY or something, this is like, I already know this is going to be one of my favorite games this year. Yeah.
Sick.
Yeah.
Thank you for going over and checking that out.
Yes.
Thank you for watching all of these Summer Game Fest previews. Get over to that playlist on YouTube and check out stuff. Make sure you haven't missed anything. We are Easy Allies. We are supported by people just like you. Go to patreon.com/easyallies to keep this thing rolling. Thank you, and we'll see you soon.